The following conversations are taken from our channel membership exclusive weekly live show that we do on Saturdays from 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time called Members Talk Live. Find out how you can become a member and appear on the show. All of the information is down in the description below, as well as all the links to the channels of today's guests. Check them out, and I hope to talk with you very soon. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Deadpool and Wolverine, baby. So we had that second trailer come out at the beginning of the week. One that I was very excited about. It's probably my most anticipated second trailer ever, at least in recent memory. And it did not disappoint. At least for me, it did not disappoint. I thought that this trailer, it gave enough of like what we can expect in the movie without giving away what the movie is, which I really appreciated. I was very surprised that they didn't do any build up to the reveal of Wolverine. He was just kind of there, and I was like, oh, okay. But it worked for the trailer. We kind of suspected the trailer was going to be told from Wolverine's perspective, which it kind of was. There was a lot of Wolverine in this trailer with some new additional footage as well. What did you guys think of the second trailer? Overall thoughts? I'll start with UT. What did you think of the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer 2?
Oh, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was. I love the fact that they stopped hiding Wolverine. Now that we know it's Deadpool and Wolverine, let's just get him out the way. Let him be shown. I do love him wearing his costume finally. I think that's like a big win, even though like in the grand scheme of things, watching somebody walk around with a yellow and blue costume is insane in the real world. But I just think it looks cool, and Hugh Jackman looks jacked.
Yeah,
with
the
sleeves out,
sleeveless shot.
yeah, like, and Cassandra Nova, like, I enjoy the fact that she's in this movie. I'm really concerned with how they use her in this movie because she's like a high level, mega level mutant. And I mean, she's Charles Xavier's twin. Like, so I'm really curious to see how she fits in to the movie. Do they like shoehorn as like the main villain, or which I don't think she is? Like, how do you fit her in there and make her still a badass? But at the same time, how does Wolverine and Deadpool end up beating her? That's the greater question of all.
Yeah, I mean, with her in there, do you think that it kind of almost like you need to have Charles Xavier in this movie if she's going to be in it? Like, do you think that Patrick Stewart or James McAvoy, like at this point, kind of like how when the villains were in No Way Home, we were all kind of like, well, you can't have the villains without Toby and Andrew. Like, it just doesn't really make sense. We all kind of knew that Toby and Andrew were going to be in it, but we had our questions up until the premiere of the movie. Do you think it's kind of similar here, where it's like, well, if Cassandra Nova's in here and she's the evil twin of Charles Xavier, you got to have Charles Xavier in this movie somewhere?
I have a better question. Which Charles Xavier do y'all want to see in this movie? Because I'm a like McAvoy at this point. Like, no knock on Patrick Stewart. He is an icon. He's a legend. But
we've already
I
seen
need
it.
McAvoy.
We've seen it already.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And they did have McAvoy in Deadpool too. So yeah, sure. All right. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, they had that little shot of all the X-Men behind the door. That's really funny. That's true. Ace, I kind of already know how you feel because I watched your trailer reaction, but give us your overall thoughts, man. The Deadpool and Wolverine trailer 2, did it live up to the hype?
I'm so excited for this. I had to bust out my Deadpool shirt.
Nice.
Put that in there.
Nice.
The trailer did not disappoint, to say the least. I didn't get to cover the teaser trailer because the Super Bowl was going on, so I was very excited to cover this one. Gave you guys my thoughts on that. This movie, the trailer, like I said, the trailer did not disappoint. I think this movie has potential to be what a lot of us thought Multiverse of Madness would be, where a lot of fans got disappointed by that. But this movie, I think, has the potential to be that. Deadpool in the comic books killed the Marvel Universe. Maybe this movie, he'll save the Marvel Universe because the MCU is kind of like in this little flux right now. But the trailer did a phenomenal job at showing us a lot of things, but not showing us a lot of things. Like, the practical effects are going to be on point because, you're going to have, they've been on set a lot of times, and that's why they've been putting out all these fake leaks and stuff like that, because people have been leaking it. I do think Deadpool is a character that allows you to go over the top with the cameos. Like I said, would like to see a Professor Xavier from what we're hearing about all these rumors. I think that this is going to be the movie of the year. The trailer did its job for me. It got me super excited. Zach, I know you were super excited. You didn't even have to have coffee. That just energized
Yeah,
you in the
man.
morning. But it did its job. Like I said, it answered a lot of questions, but at the same time didn't, and it left a lot of Easter eggs all throughout the entire trailer, like the Fox logo, everything. Like
Yeah.
it was the dude that can't draw feet, his name is the creator's
Oh
escaping
yeah,
me.
Little
Congratulations.
Shield or something like that.
Yeah, the name has escaped me right now. That was a good touch. To have the actual like the costume, like T was saying, with the sleeveless arms, and it actually answered a big question that a lot of people were skeptical about. This is a different Wolverine. A lot of people were like, we don't want it to undo the events of Logan because of how good that movie was. So they came out right away and just were like, no fear. This is going to be different. And I think they gave the fans exactly what they wanted. The next trailer that drops will obviously be probably about a month before the movie drops. So they'll probably tell us a little bit more. But it was just so filled with Easter eggs, excitement, and it's gonna be such a great time in the theater. And like I'm super excited for it because like somebody had said, like, MCU needs to get back to focusing on characters, and these two characters are so iconic that they're gonna
Yeah.
be such a big draw. Like, my question to you guys is, it's obviously gonna hit $1 billion in my opinion. Do you guys think it hits 2?
Too
No.
$2 billion
It's rated R. I
Yeah.
don't see a
Does that
rated R.
matter though?
Mm,
a little bit. I mean,
I feel like it
again,
matters less and less these days, but it's it does still have that barrier for some families and kids.
the question is,
Yeah,
are you going to
of
go see
course.
it 5 times? Because that's the
Oh,
only way.
I'm going
That's the only
twice
way it hits
opening
2 billion.
day. I'm going twice opening. I always go see these movies twice. Twice opening day. I will be buying the popcorn buckets. So you guys know I get all the popcorn buckets regardless. Like but I got to make sure I get that. But it's gonna be a good time in the theater. I think it's gonna be movie of the year.
personally for me, I'm interested because like Kevin Feige, he made comment about like movie inspired popcorn buckets, and he's like, you've seen movie studios put out R-rated style popcorn buckets, but you haven't seen one designed by Deadpool. I'm not going to buy the popcorn bucket, but I am at least interested in what it'll actually look like. And
Google it.
yeah, I'll Google it. Yeah.
But what's your overall thoughts on the trailer, Ryan? What did you think of the? Did it live up to the hype?
Yeah, it did. And I'm very interested because I like how the film is going out of its way to acknowledge it's like, yes, 20th Century Studios has now been bought by Disney. And I like how they're actually, to play off of the whole, this looks like Multiverse of Madness, but actually good, or well, maybe not good, but much better, because like it actually incorporates elements like the sling ring portals. I don't know, Ant-Man's helmet open up in that one shot. Like it looks like a better incorporation. Plus the one conversation between Deadpool and the old lady. It's like, do you want to build a snowman? Yes, but we can't.
I thought that was a great joke too, because it kind of worked on 2 levels with the Frozen reference and also the cocaine slang. I thought that was great. But going back to kind of what Ace was talking about, let's talk about some cameos for a minute. Let's talk about what we might see in this movie, because I think that one of the most subtle kind of indications of a cameo came at the end of the trailer when we see Wolverine and Deadpool jumping into that portal. Now, there's theories out there that it's like Deadpool and Wolverine are going to be assisting the Endgame battle. They're going to redo the Endgame battle with Wolverine and Deadpool in there. I think that's really funny in concept. I would worry about how that would come out in execution. And I personally don't think that's what's going to happen. But every portal that we have seen has had a Doctor Strange, a Wong, a Ned behind it. So does this indicate to you guys at all? Do you think Doctor Strange might pop up in here? Do you think we see Wong? Because at one point, like Wong was seen as like it was the cinematic Wong universe, because Wong just was popping up left and right for a little bit there in phase 4, but he's been away for a little bit now. So do you think he could reappear here? Do you think what do you think is behind that portal? Where do you think they're going? I'll start with you, Ace. What are your theories for all this stuff? Who do you think we're going to see?
I think it's gonna be Doctor Strange. I would love that end game, even if it's something so brief, like you go to the end of Endgame, have them fight a couple bad guys, maybe have Wade give a little salute to the real Captain America, or maybe make a joke talking about how he looks like Johnny Storm. Something so small. You don't have to do anything grand. I don't want to see them go there and save Tony because that's going to kill that arc. I don't want
Yeah,
to see
you
that.
can't do that.
But I want to see them do something so small and subtle that, maybe it doesn't have a big impact, but I would like to see. I think it's Doctor Strange because like there's a lot that's supposed to come down the pipe with the incursions and stuff like that. That this might be able to tie into that. The Wong, I don't. Who knows what Wong is doing? Maybe he's hanging out with that girl from She-Hulk. And he's a little bit busy.
Madison with the
Yeah,
Y.
Madison. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? Wong's probably So, anyways, but yeah, it's. I think it would be Doctor Strange. I think that'd be a nice little cameo. But this movie might be full of cameos. To ask who I'm most excited about, probably see Daphne again as his daughter. Maybe her pop in there. The cameos that we did see on the bottom where we saw looked like Azazel was in there. Lady Deathstrike was in there as well. So we'll see. But maybe like you said, if I was to say one person I would want to see, I would want to see McAvoy as Professor Xavier. That's a big thing for me because he killed it in that role as Xavier, and I want to see him bring that back. And I want to see him as the main Xavier going forward because Patrick Stewart's getting up there in age. So
Yeah.
True.
He's what, 70, 80?
mm-hmm.
He's got to be something like that.
In the 80s.
Or give me Michael Fassbender as Magneto.
Ooh.
That's what
I'd be down for that. I'd be down for that. T, what do you think, cameo wise? Who do you think is showing up? Who do you think the trailer indicates could show up? Is there anyone that you want to see show up, or do you think it's the cameo should be kept to a limit, to a minimum? You don't want to see too many people show up in this.
Oh no, I would like if you can incorporate every character who's ever shown up. I would love to see the Fantastic Four show up. I'd love to see Doug Jones, the Silver Surfer, show up. Like if you can incorporate as many actors and that Vinny Jones is the Juggernaut, like bring them all except for the Dark Phoenix. So whoever Jessica Chastain, like leave her out of it. Like everything about that movie is terrible to me. But like everybody else, the guy who died in First Class, I can't remember which mutant it was, the black character that was supposed to be invincible. But yes.
Oh right.
Bring him back. Bring him back. Like these random characters. Like the more the merrier. Like people are gonna say, oh, it's nostalgia bait. I don't care. Like I really don't. Like this movie it's gonna be fun. That's the whole point of it, is for it to be fun. Like it's not rocket science. We're not trying to recreate the moon landing. It's Deadpool and Wolverine. They're gonna beat people up, have it make me laugh. I hope McAvoy comes back as Xavier moving forward, like in the X-Men movies, because he's a great character. Great character actor, great actor. And I think he's perfect because he's getting older now, and I think he's perfect in that role, just like Patrick Stewart was in the original X-Men. But yeah, the more the merrier. I'm not big on Easter eggs because I don't know enough. Like I don't have a magnifying glass. When I watch this stuff, I watch it. Right. I don't slow it down. So I saw the lady, Azazel. That was probably the only one I saw because he has red skin. Like, but everybody else, let it be a surprise. I'm not reading any spoilers. I want to walk into the theater and like in Deadpool 2 when he opens the door and all of the X-Men are behind. That's hilarious to me. Like that was so fun. Like do something like that. It doesn't have to be these and if they recreate the Endgame thing, that would actually sell me on this movie so much because I can see them just popping in out of nowhere and just making a quick quip and then jumping into a different universe. Like you said, don't save Tony. Like we don't need that, but everything else is going to be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I want to see everybody show up as much as you do. I still want there to be a balance of like a good story and narrative as well as the fun of the Easter eggs and the cameos. But Ryan, we already know we're getting Elektra. I mean, Jennifer Gardner's been confirmed. Is there anyone else you think we could get? Is there anyone that you want to see? I mean, Monica Rambeau, she got sucked into some different universe with X-Men in it. Do you think there's a chance Monica Rambeau gets tied up in this storyline? What do you think, Ryan?
I mean, again, I don't know. I haven't. This isn't something I've really dedicated a lot of time to. I'm just really excited. Deadpool and Wolverine, buddy copying, their way through this movie and tossing a whole bunch of sexual innuendo. Deadpool makes Wolverine's way. But
all right. Well, who's your dream cameo? Who is the dream person that, like, if you could put any other Marvel superhero that we've seen before, or maybe even like newly introduced as a cameo in this movie, who's your dream person?
I don't know why, for whatever reason, the first name that popped into my head is Batman. I know that Disney does not own Batman, but I feel like that would be the most random cameo. It'd be like Deadpool would be like, "How do we get him? He's not owned by us."
Yeah, they did that joke already in Deadpool 2, so I don't think we're gonna see a Batman.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
You might get a Lex Luthor, make it Nicholas Hoult as the Beast in here.
Possibly. Oh yeah, you definitely talk about that. Anything's open with Deadpool. Like I said, this movie, my only concern with this movie is probably going to be us as fans. Are we going to build this too much up in our heads to make it a better movie in here than what we're going to see? Because that's what happened with Multiverse of Madness. And it wasn't just the fans. Like, so a lot of people like that movie. The majority did not, right? But it wasn't just the fans that made that movie like that. It was the executives that were coming out and saying, this movie is going to be the best movie we've seen since Endgame. It's going to be better than No Way Home. So they kind of built it up.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we don't have that same thing. But the one thing that I do want to see in this universe in this movie, is that it kind of gives us that closure from the Foxverse. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not going to see any more of those Fox movies. Give us that closure we need. Bring in as many characters from the Foxverse as we can and kind of have them transition from there to here. This is the perfect point. And it just gives us that closure that we need and a chance to right some of the wrongs from that Fox universe, because the actors were on point. Love the Fox actors, the action sequences. It was just the writing was terrible. And it was just all over the place with the continuity. Hopefully this movie does some of the correcting, not asking it to do the heavy lifting, but hopefully we see that when it comes to this.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I mean, I think we can all agree that July can't come soon enough. This was a fantastic trailer. I think, is this the last one you guys need to see, or do you guys want a third trailer? If this was the final one, would you guys be satisfied enough, or do you want to see another trailer?
I'm happy with it.
I think they need to bring, I'm satisfied with this, but they had to draw more people in, because they're fanboys like us. But to get to get $1 billion, you have to reach more than just us. You have to get the regular person who's never seen Deadpool 1 or 2, because it was, not Disney. Like, you have to get the Disney. You have to bring the Disney audience in. There are a lot of people who haven't seen Wolverine. There are a lot of people who haven't seen Deadpool.
Right.
There are a lot of people who didn't see Logan because Logan was rated R. So you have to get, us. We're looking for the Easter eggs, but you got to get the general population in to get that $1 billion. I think they need to, don't show more in another preview, but they're gonna have to get another banger preview to really hammer that home, because we're there. We're already in our seats.
Yeah.
If I could have purchased a ticket already, I would have already purchased a ticket. But
oh yeah, absolutely.
I would sell my firstborn son if I had one. It's like, Deadpool, son, here, have my son.
Yeah, that's a Deadpool joke right there. Yeah. As far as getting another trailer, we're going to get one. We're going to get another one, and then we'll get a couple of TV spots here and there. That's just part of the marketing budget. But I think it runs the risk of oversaturating itself, because you're not going to sell people on. They're already sold on the movie. A lot of people are sold on the movie. So it's like at a certain point, you're not going to be reiterating. You're just reiterating stuff at this point. You're running the risk of kind of leaking things and kind of ruining some major plot points if you continue to do it. Yeah. But at the same time too, since Infinity War, you can't really trust Marvel's trailers, because remember, there was a lot of stuff in Infinity Wars that we didn't see in the actual movie
Hulk
that
and
they
Wakanda.
just put in there. Yep, exactly.
Oh. And Deadpool 2 also, they showed the X-Force fighting, and then they're like, lol, they all died before they even hit the ground.
Oh, yeah, that was hilarious.
Deadpool has the ability to troll, so we might get trolled with a couple of trailers and stuff like that. This is what I would like to see as promo. Just give us some fun trailers that have nothing to do with the movie, because the banter between Wolverine and Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, it's basically like they're their real life characters and they have such good chemistry. Roll out more YouTube videos like they did before when they announced it. You know what I'm saying? Do stuff like
Yeah.
that. I don't
Yeah,
really
okay.
think we need an overabundance of trailers to really sell this movie. I think $1 billion is easy is going to be easy to obtain. If it does really well with the fans and word of mouth, I think it has potential to closely hit that 2 billion mark despite being rated R. I think it's going to be the highest rated R movie, I'm telling you. And then on top of that, you also have to realize we're not getting oversaturated with Marvel this year. This is the only MCU film that we're getting. So you're not going to, people are going to flock to this because it's the only one we're getting in 2024.
Yeah. I mean, going back to your whole $1 billion question, I do think it will make $1 billion, especially after the trailer became the highest gross or highest viewed trailer in 24 hours with like 365 million views. So people are excited. People are watching the trailer over and over again. If the movie delivers and the movie is good, like a lot of people are expecting it to be, I do think there'll be multiple viewings. And also, the MCU has been around since 2008. I was 9 years old when it came out, and now I'm 25. I've grown up with it. I'm not the only person. And kids who loved Deadpool when they were like 13 years old, who had to like sneak the movie or sneak in with their parents to see it, they're now adults, and they can go into the movie now as they pleased, right? So
Exactly.
it's definitely a different time for Deadpool fans, and Deadpool as a character is definitely grown in pop culture. And I'm with you there. I do think, I don't know about 2 billion, but I could see it going as high as 1.2, 1.3. What do you guys think? $1 billion?
I think
Yeah,
billion is
I can see
easily
it. I can
obtainable.
see $1 billion. Yeah.
Yeah. It also depends on where it's released, because No Way Home didn't get released in China. So it's
Right.
like if that would have got released, it probably would have broke the all-time
You
box
imagine
office.
how much money that would have made if it was in China?
Oh, it would have beat Avatar. It would have beat Endgame, and it would have beat Avatar because it was up there and it didn't get released. This is what you got to realize too. Like Zach was saying about the Deadpool, Wolverine is a big draw. He is a really big draw. The X-Men in general are a huge draw. Look at how successful 97 is doing amongst the fans and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys have seen any X-Men 97, but it really makes
I'm
me
loving
think.
it.
Yeah, me too. And I have full confidence that Disney can handle the X-Men now. So it's like, because that's a tough one to really do. You know what I'm saying? Like them, Fantastic Four, it gives me faith. Wolverine is such a huge draw going back to the Foxverse and stuff like that. And the one thing that X-Men 97 isn't doing is pushing Wolverine to the forefront. We're actually seeing all these other characters
true.
at the forefront. So now people are going to be Wolverine hungry because they're not getting that with 97. So I think this movie has potential to be
They
really,
need that
really good.
Wolverine fix.
Exactly, because we don't really know how many times Hugh Jackman's actually going to do this. This is going to be huge. For him to actually cross over in the MCU itself, and Deadpool as well, is going to be gigantic. And then, maybe we see them again in Secret Wars, and then that might be the last time we see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. And thank you, Ryan Reynolds, for making this happen, because he talked up Hugh Jackman to come back.
Oh yeah, he lobbied for it for sure. Yeah, I mean, another thing that this trailer and this movie kind of brings up for me too, that I think is an interesting kind of conversation to go into, is, does this movie, maybe not does, but do you think that this movie should give any indication of where Marvel's going with their X-Men? Because we haven't really gotten any idea of what Marvel's doing with X-Men. They had Quicksilver from the Fox universe show up in WandaVision, but that ended up being a farce. They've got Monica Rambeau in some other universe with Beast in the X-Men right now, and then they've got Deadpool and Wolverine coming into the MCU from the Fox universe. And then you've got Miss Marvel, who's a mutant at the end of her show. I just find that Marvel's direction with where they're going with X-Men right now is very, very muddy. It's very messy. And I don't really know what they're trying to do. I don't know if they want to bring in a whole new crew, if they want to bring in old characters, if they want to do a mixture of both. I don't know what their plans are. And I feel like at this point, I'm kind of feeling like they don't know either. Am I alone in that, T? What do you think? Do you think that they need to give us some indication at the end of this movie what we can expect from their X-Men? Or do you think that this can just be the Fox X-Men conclusion to their Fox universe, and then Marvel can slowly do their own X-Men thing after this?
So I would like for Marvel's X-Men to not be in this movie. And I say that because you already got it's a Deadpool and Wolverine movie. Give us maybe a little teaser, and I don't know if you guys have caught that there was like some talkings of Kiki Palmer being cast as Rogue,
I
which
saw that rumor.
on the surface it sounds
Okay.
terrible, but at the same time, I think it would be fantastic. Like Kiki Palmer is awesome, and
Yeah,
like looking at
yeah.
what she could do as that Rogue character, I think would be great. She'd be a great Storm too because she's just a phenomenal actress. But I don't want to see them in this movie. I really don't. Like maybe a post credit scene, like just teasing a little bit, but I don't think it's necessary. I think they should just close out the Fox first. You know, James Marsden has to show up in this movie. I'm like, I hated Cyclops as a character growing up, but I love James Marsden. I think he's a great actor, and he has to just show up once and get you know, roasted by Wolverine at least one good time in the movie. And I think they'll do just fine without you know, pushing forward because I don't think they know. Like at this point, I don't think Marvel knows where they want to go with X-Men. Like
Right.
it's not even that we're not getting anything. I don't think that they truly know. And I think this movie is really gonna indicate where they should how they should move forward. Not saying it has to be like a Deadpool style X-Men movie, but like I think little things from this movie is going to push them in a specific direction with how they're going to go with X-Men. Same thing with Fantastic Four. I think how Fantastic Four does is really gonna shape how they move forward with the entire MCU because I
Mhm.
think that movie is more of an indication of them moving forward than this movie is. Because I think this is just a standalone. I think this is like Ryan Reynolds saying, you know what, you guys supported me. I'm gonna give you guys the best fucking movie that I can. Like I'm gonna give you guys exactly what y'all wanted. Y'all been asking for this. I stapled his face on my, you know, like this is a fan service movie to me. I
Of
don't think
course.
this is like any indication of the MCU moving forward. I think this is just total. Let's make a lot of money, but let's serve the fans.
Yeah,
Let's effing
I think
go.
that's totally fair. I think that's a totally fair assessment too. Ryan, what do you think? Do you think we're gonna get any clarity to X-Men in the MCU after this, or do you think this will kind of be its own thing and we'll still be left with questions by the end of what Marvel's doing with their X-Men?
I'm hoping that will be its own thing. I mean, I think that again, like I said, it looks like it's definitely acknowledging the fact that they now have a new master that is Disney. But I think it'll just be more as a means to a joke than as a means to, or at least I hope it's not just a means to say okay, it'd be a sort of a unofficial CinemaCon, but in the form of a feature length movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Ace, you brought up Marvel or Deadpool kills the Marvel universe, which in that comic, Deadpool is kind of under mind control basically and literally kills off Marvel heroes. Now, I don't think that they would necessarily have Deadpool kill off
No,
Fox
no, no, no.
characters from the beloved X-Men series. I don't think that that's the tone that they're going for. But do you think that they have the balls to completely eradicate the Fox universe and their characters and leave Deadpool alone in the MCU? Or do you think that they're planning on mix and matching Fox characters with the MCU to kind of use their X-Men already established to launch their own X-Men stories and within the Marvel universe? Or do you think we'll get any clarity at all by the end of this movie as to what the X-Men will be in the MCU?
All right. I also have a question for you that goes into the X-Men that can go after this point. I think that this is a perfect segue to bring the Fox verse to close out the Fox verse and bring some of the characters over here. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
to T's point, the actor that played Cyclops was perfect for it. I would like to see him in this role. You know what I'm saying? Like this has the opportunity to kind of, like I said, close out that segue, that chapter over there. Bring the characters that want to come over here. So, because obviously, with even though we saw Quicksilver, you know what I'm saying, Evan Peters as a joke, it shows you that they're capable of doing it and they know what the fans want. So, the fans want to see that, though. I would love to see those actors in the Foxverse just over here with better writing because in my
Mhm.
opinion that's where Fox got it wrong. Can you imagine the budget that they would have with the MCU and Disney and with better writers? Imagine you having, you know, Raimi and all the other good writers and stuff like that with a great cast like McAvoy. Imagine having the good writers like, you know, it would just be amazing in my opinion. That would be the perfect way to kind of close those movies out and do what a lot of those movies did wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they kind of messed it up over there in the Foxverse. Here's your opportunity to come over here, give us the X-Men, introduce Fantastic Four, do a right Doctor Doom, and then start going forward with that, because what the MCU has been lacking is kind of been direction. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've seen a lot of stuff with an end credit scenes that hasn't manifested yet. Give us something in this movie that's going to kind of point us in a direction. I'm not saying introduce us to the big bad, you know what I'm saying? Because we got Thanos in the first in Infinity War. We knew ultimately that was what it's leading up to. If you even like was to sprinkle in a Doctor Doom, you know what the next end game is going to be, what you're heading towards. You know what I'm saying? But as far as that's what I would ultimately like to see. And then like T was saying, maybe sprinkle a little bit of fan service in there. Like, you know, obviously, like he said, Keke Palmer was up for, you know, Rogue and stuff like that. Maybe give us something small, like how they did John Krasinski as Reed in Multiverse of Madness. Give us maybe Tom Cruise as Tony Stark real quick. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, just so people can be like, oh, that was dope to see.
We were
you know
close. They were close to doing that with Multiverse of Madness.
Close. But I'm going to tell you this. On a side note, I would have been disappointed to see Tom Cruise in a superior Iron Man suit, because I felt like Robert Downey Jr. deserved that. But it would have been a little disappointing. But my question to you is, Zach, you've seen X-Men 97. There are ways to incorporate that storyline into the main universe, because they did it with Superior Strange and the What Ifs. Would you be okay if they used X-Men 97 as a segue to introducing the X-Men into this universe? Because after Deadpool and Wolverine, you can, and then what Multiverse of Madness did too, where they went to an animated universe, you can tie all that stuff in. What do you think if they were to go that direction?
I think that would be a mistake. Honestly, I think that would be a bad decision, because I think that goes back to homework, depending on how they do it, definitely. But it goes not like I'm watching X-Men 97. The hardcores are watching X-Men 97. My brother likes the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He's not watching X-Men 97. So it's just one of those things where I think you got to keep it separate, because it'll end up like the Marvels thing. Like, as I've had that thought too, I'm like, what if X-Men 97 ended with like live action characters falling through a portal or something? Like what if it just did? What if they did that? But the more I think about it, the less I think that would be the right move for the MCU, because they need to get away from this whole our shows on Disney Plus are so tied to the movies. I think the shows on Disney Plus need to be additions for the hardcores, but not necessities for the general. Like, that's how I feel they should move forward with the shows and the movies from here on out. But going back to your Superior Strange or Supreme Strange from the What If. From What If. It wasn't really the same character in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Similar kind of look, but there was nothing that connected that to the What If storyline, to the point that if you didn't watch What If, you had no idea. Well, I mean, maybe you had no idea regardless in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness what the character was. But there was no correlation where it was like, oh, go back and watch What If you want to get the full story of this character. And I feel like with X-Men 97, that would be a mistake if they did that.
Yeah,
just personally.
It wasn't the same character, but it definitely introduced that character, but it wasn't the same character.
Yeah.
As far as like, I agree with you. They should use them as separate entities and stuff like that. But then also with Fantastic Four, you got to realize we're going to have a error with the Fantastic Four movie where they're going to be back in the past and stuff like that. So, you know, how are they going to tie all this in? That's up to the guys making the millions of dollars to do it. And us as fans, if they don't do it correctly, we're going to critique the hell out of it. It's just, that's what we do as fans. And hopefully, like I said, this movie does well. And like I said, because MCU fatigue is real, superhero fatigue is real. Hopefully this movie kind of gives people what they want and kind of gives us back into that MCU mode of wanting more. And I am ecstatic to see this movie, and I can't wait. I'm going multiple times on opening day, and then obviously going to be doing the review. So that's going to be amazing.
Man, it's gonna be a struggle just to get a ticket on opening day. I feel like this is gonna be one of those big event movies where first come, first serve. If you're not the first one to get in there, I think you're gonna be waiting for the second or third day, maybe even the front row.
Because if you think about it, Endgame and No Way Home crashed the multiple sites. AMC and Fandango was down, so it was really hard to get tickets to those.
And No Way Home.
Yep.
No Way Home was tricky too.
Yep.
And this beat the trailer record for No Way Home. So
So a lot of anticipation for this movie. But like I said, the
Yeah.
biggest thing is I hope it's not something that we overbuild in our heads and in these conversations, and all of a sudden we get something like, yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, because we never do that, you know.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think
Yeah,
that's
no, we never do that. No,
I-
no, nope,
I
nope,
think
nope.
that's
What?
going to happen with
Yep.
this movie. I really
We'll
do.
see.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I
one
mean,
thing I'm
T,
gonna
I
say-
mean, go on
Go
with
ahead.
that. Why do you think that could happen with this movie?
Because like I remember building up and to be fair, Multiverse of Madness was not a terrible movie by any stretch of the imagination, at least not to me. But I built that movie up. Like I left the movie theater feeling, man, I felt disappointed. And it was because I did it to myself. Like
Yeah.
after No Way Home, I was like, this is good. Like I saw the first preview and I was like, oh my God, this is good. Because I saw What If. And I thought that Doctor Strange was going to be the Doctor Strange from What If. And that made sense to me. It still does. But I was expecting cameo. I was expecting the cameos that are going to be in Deadpool to have been in Multiverse of Madness. And
Well, the
it
ones
just,
we
I just,
believe will be in Deadpool, because it's the same kind of situation. We don't
yeah,
know for sure that they're going to be in Deadpool.
but even if, like, in all honesty, even if there are no cameos in Deadpool and Wolverine sell the movie themselves. Like they could
Yeah.
do a movie and it could just be those two and they're fighting bad guys. And I think people are gonna watch it anyway because it's gonna be entertaining. It's gonna be fun. Um, but they'll like Deadpool's also proven like in the first two Deadpool movies, he had these weird, strange like cameos that just people like me loved it because it was once again the X-Men behind that door. I laughed
good.
so loud in the theater. I
Yeah.
was like, man, and I felt like I was the only one who got that. It was weird because everybody was
was
playing. I was
weird.
like, how y'all not popping for this? That's hilarious. Like that's Deadpool. So I don't feel like that's gonna disappoint me like Multiverse of Madness did, but I built that movie up so hot. Like there was no way that movie could have like met my expectations because how high I had the expectation. With this, I've learned from that movie. I go into each movie just with zero expectations now. Like I'm hoping it's good. I always hope movies are going to be good, but I just went and saw Boy Kills World. That movie is
Yeah.
phenomenal. I went in with zero expectation. I was like, I think it's going to be good, but I've learned to limit my expectations. I think people need to do that before they go into this because they could a wrestling term fantasy book. They could fantasy book themselves into like thinking something's going to be great and it just is okay, and that's fine. You know, if this movie is just okay because you've overbooked that, like because you over fantasize, you know, of seeing James McAvoy and Patrick Stewart like doing a mind meld at the end of like that's your fault. Like
Mhm.
it's not Disney's fault. It's our fault for just thinking these movies are going to be way greater than they are.
Yeah.
And they're fine. They're good movies. We just it's a mental thing, man. We do
Yeah.
it to ourselves.
Yes,
Yeah,
we do.
I agree. That's why it's like, as much as I want to see this, I want to see that. Like you said, Multiverse of Madness has made me kind of pump the brakes on that. It's like that movie hurt me. Like I'm in a psychiatrist's office, like the doll they pulling out the doll, like where did Multiverse Madness hurt you? I'm like right here. Because like it did something to me that can never be undone. It killed my expectations. You know what I'm saying? So like you said, I would like we're talking about things that we want to see. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why I do think my expectations are kind of like hitting the brakes a little bit because I'm excited for this, but I'm not like No Way Home or Endgame excited where I'm like, yo, I cannot wait. Like I was counting the days when No Way Home was dropping and Endgame. I'm like 20 days, 19, 18,
Yeah.
and I'm just like just going in. But with this movie, ultra excited to see it. And yeah, I'm gonna just say Disney, give us all early access tickets so we can go ahead and make some content for you that'll help promote. So make it happen, Disney. Give us early screenings. Let's go.
For this movie, there's no way.
Oh, some people will have it though. They're gonna be out there, but they'll have like the
Oh, yeah.
embargo on there and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I can already see the tweets for the first reactions for this movie though already. Like if it's good, like, oh, Deadpool Wolverine is the blast that you're expecting. Hugh Jackman kills it once again as Wolverine. Deadpool is so funny. Stay for that post-credit scene. It's mind-blowing. 10 out of 10, best Marvel movie ever. like all the first reactions always go the same way for these Marvel movies. So we'll have to wait and see ourselves if it's good.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
I'm looking forward to it. We've gone way over time, but that's totally fine because I think that this was a great conversation. But with that, that is going to be the show. We're just gonna forget about the last topic. Kraven got moved to next.
Man, we're
to
not
December.
talking about Kraven.
not
We're
talking
moving
Kraven?
Kraven
No.
too. Oh,
Yeah,
my
they're moving
goodness.
Kraven.
No.
They're moving-
I wanna
You
talk
guys want to
about
talk about
Karate
that
Kid.
really quickly?
I
You
want
want
to talk about Karate Kid.
No.
Let's talk about Karate Kid. I was on to talk about that.
I mean, yeah, Karate Kid. They wanted to get it out by December, but I never believed that they were going to hit that. I never believed they were going to hit that because it's just that's way too fast of a like. I think they announced the movie like what 3 months ago that they were even going to be making it. So the fact that it got moved, I'm not surprised it got moved to next year at all. But Kraven, yeah, they just won't let that turd come out. They just won't let that turd
No.
come out. They pushed it to December. Which,
keep
like,
pushing
Merry
that.
Christmas? Like, what are you expecting us to like Kraven for Christmas? Like, what is it again? It's December 13th. It moves from August to December 13th. Yay.
That's actually a good time for
La
it
la
to
la
come
la
out.
la la
Christmas
la
time is a good time
la.
for movies.
Chris-
Is it
Christmas
though?
time is a good
Because
time for movies.
families go
Before
to
Christmas.
it
Well,
No,
this is
that's
what you gotta
on.
re- Yeah,
Like,
that's
that's
on
on
Christmas.
Christmas. Okay.
Yeah.
November, December timeframe is a low. Like anything but you came out, and that was like the highlight of November, and that's sad because that was a good movie, but that was like that's a real low point in like before Christmas, like November to the week before Christmas usually is where they throw out Oscar bait movies and
Mhm.
you know
Yeah.
That's true.
so this movie it's not going to have too much competition at least for that week until Christmas hits. But
Well, what's coming out in December? Actually, I'm going to look
have
that
no
up
idea.
really quickly.
I feel like what like T was saying. Though movies go to December if they can't get the summer blockbusters, in my opinion.
Yes.
Like that's
Yeah.
the
Yes.
very next one because the family, like people would just be like, "Oh, we're here with family. What let's go see Kraven." Like they might do that. You know, what I'm saying?
Said
That's
nobody.
yeah.
Said
Let's go see
nobody.
Aquaman. Like let's go see
Like
Aquaman
I gotta
too. Like,
babysit the kids. Here, go see a Kraven. Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
Aquaman made a ton of money in
because
December.
it was in December. Exactly.
But what's
Like,
Kraven going to be up against? Let's see what Kraven's going to be up against really quickly.
Oh, Mufasa. That's
Uh,
gonna destroy it.
Okay, December 13th. This is now Kraven.
Wait.
They're going up against the Lord of the Rings, The Roar of Rohan, or whatever
Wow,
that is.
we're getting the
animated
Lord of the
movie.
Rings movie that early? Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that
guess
fan
so.
base is going to go out there though. You know that fan base is going to flock to that. So
Sonic the Hedgehog 3, though. Are the kids going to want to see Kraven, or are they going to wait to see Sonic the Hedgehog 3?
Sonic. Yeah, Sonic.
Then you got Mufasa the same day.
Oh,
yeah.
they're gonna eat each other. That's a
Yeah, that's
really bad
interesting.
idea.
I'm so after that Lion King movie, I don't want it.
Yeah.
My son
okay.
has watched. See, we're gonna watch. I'm gonna watch Mufasa because my kid loves Lion Guard, the Lion King 1, 2, all of the anime. Like we'll be there. Like the kids are gonna eat that up, and they love Sonic too. So that's a really bad choice for those two movies to come out. the same
Yeah.
day.
I'm not expecting Mufasa to do as well though as The Lion King because it's not
Mhm.
The Lion King, and The Lion King is like the brand. I mean,
Yeah.
they've taglined it The Lion King, but I don't know. I think it'll be big for sure, but I don't think it'll be as big. But honestly, I see if this is where Craven's going and this is its competition, it's gonna have a massive drop off
Yeah.
the following weekend, and it's just kind of gonna come and go. If this is where they're dropping it, I don't think that that's a smart decision at all.
Probably should have been.
I-
Yeah, it probably should have been the first week of December, not the 13th, maybe.
Well, that
But
brings the question: are they trying to bury it?
Yes.
probably.
Possible.
I could see that. I could see that too.
I
Yeah.
also
I-
think it was. I also think it was very smart to move back the Karate Kid. Let's finish out Cobra Kai first before you.
That's a good
start,
point.
Cobra
Yes.
Kai, the final season should be dropping when this summer. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's gonna drop. I don't think they're gonna wait till New Year's is what they always do. Let's finish out that series before you give us that. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know if it's
Yeah.
going to tie into each other and stuff like that. So I think it was smart for them to move that. Cobra Kai should be the priority.
And giving it the space too from the end of the
Exactly.
season to the next movie, I think is smart too. Yeah,
Exactly, because with the
I agree
Karate
with
Kid
that.
movies, they're reemerging. Like people are realizing because Cobra Kai has made the movies that much better. My nephew's like 23, and I kept telling him like, bro, you got to watch the Karate Kid movies. Like you'll love it. He wanted to get into Cobra Kai. I'm like, you don't necessarily have to watch the movies, but you'll enjoy it a little bit more. He went back and was like, Unc, I'm glad you told me to watch these movies because they're really good. And I'm like, yeah, the Karate Kids are classics. So let Cobra Kai breathe a little bit and give us some time to actually finish out the arcs and then give us a Karate Kid movie if you want to tie all that stuff in.
Yeah,
For sure.
I agree with that. But I think the Kraven decision is I think I just don't think they have faith in it. I really don't. They've moved it twice now, and I don't believe that they moved it from last year to this year because of strikes and because of this and that. Like I think it could have come out. I think they just pushed it and they're pushing it off and they're pushing it off, and now it looks like they've buried it. If they're putting it between those movies, like an R-rated Kraven movie or a Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which ones are families gonna choose in December? Like, give me a break. Come on.
I'm going with Craven because I love the Sony verse.
And I like
Yeah,
Aaron
we all
Taylor
know how much
Johnson.
T is for Sony's.
Yeah. And I like Aaron Taylor Johnson. It's just sad to see him in this role.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Yes.
stop with the Sonic. I mean, not Sonic, the Sony movies already, because Madam Web blew us all away. We all had a very raving reviews on that. So who wanted more of Sony? Maybe Deadpool will kill the Sony universe. I don't know.
I wish.
Now
would
that
make
is a crossover I'd be down for. If that's how you
Again-
connect the Sony movies to the MCU, I'm for it. Go for it.
Yeah. So
definitely there for that.
All right, guys. Well, now we've gone way over time. So that was fun. I really enjoyed this whole show. This whole show was great. Really great conversations. But before we go, please tell people where they can find you. Let's start with you first, Ace, because this is the wrong banner, by the way. I don't know why I have that up. Let's start with you first, Ace. You've been away from the show for a little bit, so it's been great to have you back, my friend. And the green screen for the win. Absolutely.
Yeah.
appreciate you. And I'm gonna try to be back as much as I can. Absolutely love this show. Everybody should like and subscribe and become members so you can watch us live and give us comments and stuff like that. But you can find me at the Ace Avenue. That's DAACE Avenue, where I do sports live play-by-play. The baseball and football season is in full effect, so I'm covering all of that. Also mixed in movie reviews, reactions, and all that good stuff, and trying to do more of the movies. I got a lot of Marvel stuff I'm going to be having. I'm going to be that's going to be coming down the pipe, so make sure you like and subscribe for that. We just hit 1K. We are on the road to 2K.
Woohoo, man, that's awesome. Congratulations in person for the first time. Congratulations
that.
on that 1K, man, because that's a big milestone and you should be very proud. That's awesome.
Exactly.
Congratulations.
Everybody hit that subscribe so everybody on here can get the 1K. Feels good to have that letter in the number now.
Absolutely. And let's move on. T, where can they find you?
You can find me at Have You Seen That with T on YouTube. I wish I had the Aces energy, man. I'm telling you, this guy, he just brings the energy. And if you haven't subscribed to his channel, definitely go subscribe to the Ace Avenue, man. Dude is he's awesome. But you can find me, Have You Seen That with T, on Letterboxd. You can find me at Have You Seen That. I dropped my Boy Kills World trailer yesterday. I'm sorry, review yesterday, and today finally dropping that Challengers review, and people will see how much I did not enjoy that movie.
Oh, that's the first person I've heard say that didn't enjoy. I'm very curious to check out that review later. All right, Ryan, where can they find you?
You can find me at Movie Reviews with Ryan Lane on YouTube and on Letterboxd. I publish about 2 movie reviews a week on YouTube, and I post all my reviews of movies on Letterboxd, plus the occasional movie I don't do a review on YouTube for. So check it out.
All right, perfect. And as far as I go, you can find me here where I never sleep. All right, guys. With that said, thank you guys for joining us for this episode. We'll see you guys again next week. Take care.